let's begin.
Single my salute. I'm Lord Maitreya, the hip hop futurist. You're now tuned into the Super Longevity Institute podcast. This afternoon, I have a special guest. She became the general director of KrioRus company in June 2009. She is presently chairman of the board of directors and performs strategic leadership of the company. She graduated from Moscow Physics and Technical Institute, specializing in physics. She is an expert in cryonics. She's a sociologist, a futurist, and an author of many articles on science. As a guidance counselor, she participates in the scientific project, the Human Aging System Diagram. She is a founder and activist of the Russian International Transhumanist Movement. Ladies and gentlemen, hip hop futurist, transhumanist worldwide, Valeriya Pride. I hope I said your name right.
Hello for all.
Nice to meet you,
Yes,
and
it's me.
it's a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for coming
Nice
by.
to meet you too.
What's the weather like in Russia right now?
Now in Russia is very cold, about -20, and it is very unusual weather for the March, but is it true?
Oh wow. Oh yeah. How do you dress for that?
Cryonics around us.
Oh. Wow. I have a question for.
What is the weather in your place?
It's I would say 37, 38 degrees.
Pardon?
37, 38 degrees.
Plus?
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, not so
I want
cold.
to.
Not so cold.
I want to be near you. Yes.
Yeah, it's not cold. People complain about it, but it's not cold.
Mm-hmm.
It's not cold compared to Russia. It's nothing. Um,
Yeah.
so you graduated. You studied physics, right?
Yes. Yes. Mathematical models of the physical process. So
Mm,
I am the part of mathematics and one part of the physics.
mm. How did that prepare you for the type of work that you're doing today? The degree in physics.
I don't know.
Mm,
Really, it was very, very long way.
mm,
I was a rock musician. I was a, I was a writer. I was a manager. And I was a worker. I was a scientist,
wow.
and I was well, I don't remember
Mm,
the director of the rail uh, of the company that sell houses. I work as the director of advertising company.
oh.
And after all this way, one moment I've met several transhumanists in
Mm,
Russia, in Moscow. It was 2005, so 16 years ago.
mm,
And during several months, I left all what I made and I began to work professionally on transhumanism and cryonics later.
mm. Um, KrioRus. Did I say the company's name right? KrioRus.
KrioRus. In Russia
KrioRus.
is KrioRus. Rus, this is the part of Russia in the Russian language, Rus. KrioRus. I think that in all languages it will be KrioRus.
Oh, okay.
Repeat, please.
Yeah. KrioRus.
KrioRus.
Oh,
KrioRus.
KrioRus.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. Um, can you tell my audience who may not be familiar with cryonics, um, that what KrioRus is, what it does, what its mission is, and you're located in Moscow.
Yes.
Okay.
Our main office is in Moscow,
Mm,
and we have several small points in different countries, in different cities in Russia.
mhm,
So it is not only Moscow, but our head office here.
mm. And can you tell us what KrioRus is? What's its mission statement for people who may not, who just are tuning into Super Longevity Institute who may not know what cryonics is, can you tell them what cryonics is and what your company does, what KrioRus
Uh,
does?
mm, you are not very, I'm not here. You are
Oh, okay.
good.
Oh, yeah,
You
that's
are
okay.
break. Repeat,
Oh, okay.
please.
Let me repeat. Can you tell us what KrioRus mission statement is?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, the mission of KrioRus is the immortality for all. So, uh, all of us, of our friends, of Russian transhumanists, of Russian cryonicists, all of us want to live forever. But of course, maybe somebody from us will be forever, who now is very young, maybe. But people die every day. And we want to give the hope for those people who died every day. So we try to reach the body of dead people as soon as possible, to make a special procedure, a perfusion. It's a complex procedure, and freeze the body. And we will store this body as long as it will be needed for the reviving people in the future. It's our mission.
And you the first cryonics company in Russia, correct?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Um. Oh, who was? Do you remember? All right. Do you remember the first person you cryopreserved?
No. The first person who was cryopreserved in Russia was cryopreserved before the KrioRus has begun his activity. It was 2003, before 3 years before KrioRus. And it was the Russian biotechnologist. His son is biotechnologist too. The name of first Russian cryonics patient is Alfred Marenkov, and his brain was stored of our current scientific director Igor Artyukhov at the workplace in the box with dry ice. So my mother was 7 person that was represented in KrioRus.
Mm. Oh wow. So your mother was cryopreserved at KrioRus?
One moment. Yes, we, um, me and our friend, created KrioRus for our relatives, for ourselves,
Right.
and it was the main goal of KrioRus. Only later, a lot of people began to call us. So now KrioRus is for all people. And my mother was cryopreserved in 2008, and he was 7 patient, as far as I remember,
Wow.
in KrioRus, of course.
Wow. And your dog also?
Yes, it was very difficult year, 2008. At that year died my mother, my dog Alisa,
Mm.
and my friend Sergey. All of them was preserved in KrioRus.
Wow. Oh wow. You also
It was, it was 12 years ago.
wow. Um, it's wonder. Well, it's a bad thing that we die, but it's a good thing that she had a great daughter like yourself that prepared an alternative for her to have the possibility to be reanimated. Much respect.
Yes,
Much respect. That's
thank you.
respect. Let me ask you. You had a Japanese gentleman that was cryopreserved too, right?
Yes, yes, it was. Several years ago, one man from Japan cryopreserved his mother, very old, very nice and sweet woman, and the some Japan funeral company helped him to bring his mother to Moscow. Yes, not only from Japan, but from Australia.
Wow. Oh,
Yes, from United States.
wow.
One person from Israel, from the Netherlands, from United Kingdom, from Estonia, and another different countries. But the most
Wow.
of our CryoRus patients, of course, from Russia.
Wow, but you're getting international patients too. That's wonderful.
Yes. And
Wow.
from, just a moment, 4 people from Italy, and from several people from Ukraine, from
Wow.
Belarus, and just a moment, and some in South Korea, of course. We have our partners, our branch in South Korea, and one people from China too.
Wow. That's incredible. So they fly them in. They fly them in to Russia, Moscow. That must be I wonder wow, I wonder what how they're being transported by plane. How does that even work? How do they transport the bodies on a plane to get
Ah,
to Moscow? Is it a
no, 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 no,
special plane?
no. Transportation is the easiest part of our work because the transportation of dead body is a usual practice in all the world,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of funeral companies can, according to the law, transport the dead body from one country to another. It is not a problem. They can make a documents. They know how to prepare body for this. Only we only ask this company to add dry ice, for example, and it is not very difficult. But only some part was transported by plane, but some part from Europe was transported by car, from Italy, from France, from United Kingdom, from Estonia. All these people from all Russia,
Mm-hmm.
all people was transported by car with the freezer, with a special box with dry ice, and
Mm-hmm.
so on.
Wow. Wow. Um, tell me about the construction of your doors. Do they mimic the ones that's in the Cryonics Institute? I think I read something like that.
Ah, jars,
Doors, yeah.
jars. Yes, I understand. Of course, um, Cryonics Institute is a very friendly organization, and when we asked them in 2009, as far as I remember, uh, how to build jar, they gave us all pictures, all schemes, and we made our first jar. And after that, we changed every jar. We want to find more and more interesting, more and more effective um, jar. And but in the base of all our jars
Mm-hmm.
is technology of Cryonics Institute. Our jars are composite jars not metallic. So thank you very much for Cryonics Institute, for Ben Best, for Eddie Zavaki, for all peoples who allowed us to begin cryonics in Russia. Without the supporting, maybe we wouldn't to create it.
Wow. Shout outs to Ben Des and Dr. Gregory Fay. I think I said his name right.
Gregory Fay is a famous scientist, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we are time to time meet in different conferences, but we worked not with Gregory Fay directly, but
Wow.
with many years ago with Mike Darwin, and with Yury Pichugin,
Mm.
who was a scientific specialist in 21st century 21st century medicine, and later in Cryonics Institute too. He was our scientific director too, but several years ago he died and was cryopreserved in KrioRus.
Wow. Let me show the audience a picture of the doors. I don't know if they could see if that's big enough. Is that how it
Mm-hmm.
looks?
By the way,
Yes.
of course they are very big,
Mm-hmm.
very wide. But now we are constructing our new cryonics big center, and I really want to create not white jars, but colors as a night sky.
Mm.
Why not?
Yeah.
We will try to um make a projection to our white jars with
Mm.
different pictures, and we will
Mm.
try to create something new because
Mm.
nobody knows what jars will be in the future. Maybe color, maybe blue, maybe as pictures.
Mm. Yeah, I think that would be nice to have some type of color or some type of art on the doors. Why not? Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Good.
Yeah. For my audience out there who's not too familiar with cryonics, those doors, white doors that you just seen on the screen, that is where the patients that will be reanimated in the future will be held. They're called
Yeah.
doers. Um, Let me just show that again.
Mm-hmm.
They're called doers, and that's what the patients traveling to the future to be waiting to be reanimated will be stored. Wonderful.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It is very, very interesting field.
Mm-hmm.
What cryonics will be looked in the future. I know that there are a lot of different projects of the future cryonics storages.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them very interesting, so interesting.
Yeah.
But now we are create our cryonics center
Mm-hmm.
in the high tech as a high tech building.
Wonderful. I'm gonna come visit you and check it out. I'm gonna travel to Moscow. There's two places I want to go to KrioRus, and I want to go see the. Let me pull this off the shelf. I want to go to the Nicholas
Welcome.
Fedorov Museum.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want to go. I want to go check it
Very,
out.
very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I read that book and it changed my life. I think Nicholas Fedorov was a great, great human being.
Yes,
Like, and it
of course,
changed me.
he was a religious people,
Hmm.
but his main ideas is wonderful.
Yeah, I mean he.
It is very interesting to revive and restore
Mm-hmm.
all people who lived earlier
Yeah,
and make all people immortal. Nice,
yeah.
nice idea.
This idea that he had for a common cause to unite humanity through life extension, I believe, is ingenious. Ingenious. There's another book I got here too.
Uh, and genius, what is a genius?
This
Евгеника,
just a compassionate thing, just a really compassionate, smart idea.
one moment. Анечка, что такое ingenious? Он верит в ingenious. Ань? Ну вот что, во что он верит? В Евгенику или то, что все мы как бы как механизм? Я вот немножко не могу понять. Ладно.
Мне кажется, sure.
Да, как механизм. Окей, окей.
Sure. I gotta read the book.
One moment, I'm here. Don't worry.
Nope, no worries.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah. And
this is a scientific thinking.
Yeah, I mean, is the library where he worked? Is it still like is it a landmark? Is it still up? The library that Nikolai Fedorov worked at. Is it still around? You think? Is it like is it still around or is it not around anymore? And it's just is his It's just a museum. I know there's a museum in
I
Russia.
know all
Yeah.
our main uh, person who is the leader of Fedorov movement, Anastasia Gacheva, very nice person, and she's taught DNA of several her relatives. And I several times tell at the Fedorov Museum about uh, digital mortality, for example, about cryonics. So we are friends with
Oh,
the museum of the
yeah.
Fedorov.
That's wonderful. Um, I also have another book called The Russian Cosmos.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent
Yes, we
book.
have this book in our library too.
Yes, excellent book. I was so impressed with some of the ideas of these men. It was, you know, but back to
It is not Russian cosmos. It
mhm.
is the world cosmos because
Yes,
idea is not for Russian, it's for all world.
yes. Thank you for yes. Thank you. Yep. I agree highly. Um, you guys won a gold medal in November 2013 at the famous expedition neck pole neck or pole. Tell us about this event. I think
Necropole,
yeah,
necropole,
neck
yes.
pole. I think it's
Yes, um, it's very interesting feature of the Russian cryonics is the friendship between cryonicists and funeral workers. So we work together with a lot of funeral agencies when we have some case for cryonics. So the leaders of Russian funeral era and the owners of the exhibition Necropole every year invite us to this um, exhibition, and we talk about cryonics for this is a not exhibition for the people. This is a professional exhibition. So we are talking about cryonics for all funeral agencies, for all funeral companies that are represented at this exhibition. And the next exhibition, Necropole, will be in Ural, in city Novosibirsk in May. And we will be represented there too.
That's wonderful. Wow.
Mhm.
Um.
Because it is normal. A lot of funeral workers, it's reasonable people, and if they receive the information, then understand that cryonics is good. Do you know that Elon Musk believe in cryonics too? So, uh, and the funeral workers, when we told them about cryonics, a lot of them work with us as the leader of funeral как, Анечка, как сказать похоронная отрасль? Funeral field. Okay. And a lot of leaders of funeral fields in Russia uh, believe that in future they will not bury the people, they will preserve people.
I like this. So the general attitude is pretty good in Russia. Um, right, right.
We
I'm
worked on
not
them,
surprised.
on
Yeah,
this.
yeah. I'm not surprised that Russia will have a better attitude towards cryonics than here in the states. I in the states we're really um it's really difficult for Americans to wrap their minds around cryonics, but it's slowly happening, slowly with more films, with more books, with more people talking about the idea of cryonics. More people will ease into the idea of it, and to be a cryonicist, it doesn't have to go against your religion. You can still be religious. Nikola Fedorov, who talked about things are similar in Russia in the
Yeah.
early turn of the century, he had
Mm-hmm.
similar ideas, and he was more Christian. He was very Christian, very Christian.
Yeah.
So you can be Christian and still be into cryonics. Trust me, it doesn't bump into your religious beliefs. All religion talks about being pro life and life
About
being
immortality too.
of infinite value. right? So
Yes, yes, right.
yeah,
I agree.
yeah. When did you become a transhumanist? When did you feel like when did you join the movement of transhumanism? I think that's better said.
It was very interesting stories.
Hmm.
I am the immortalist from my earlier ages. When I was 15, I um, wrote, I have written one book, um novels about immortality. I don't remember what was in this book.
That's all right.
But later, I was woman and has a daughter that work in the institute. And one Russian early transhumanist, Igor Kirilluk, was very... Анечка, как сказать, он такой вот, как это сказать, provocation, да? Провокационный такой человек. Provocate? Игорь Kirilluk was, and Igor Kirilluk is a very provocate people, and he asked my daughter, Daria, her name is Daria, Daria, what do you think about immortality? And Daria asked him about immortality in our family since our mother. Igor was very wonder, and he have written to me the letter, and we I met with several Russian transhumanists. At that moment, there are only maybe 10 transhumanists in Russia. It was in the February of 2005. And together with this transhumanists, we began to we created a seminar, scientific seminar. This is a meeting. Every month, a lot of people meet together, and we have lectures about genomics, about cryonics, about nanotechnology, and so on. And in this seminar, we created cryonics company in the October of sorry, in the October of 2005. Yes.
Wow.
So transhumanism was earlier, and cryonics was later.
Wow. What are some of your daily challenges as a CEO of KrioRus? What's some of the challenges being the first cryonics facility in Russia?
Repeat, please.
What's some of the challenges you have as being the first cryonics organization in Russia?
At the beginning of our company, now.
Both the beginning and now. The continuing challenges and the beginning challenges I'm definitely interested in.
Really don't know. The world is a very dangerous and difficult place. So, really, what's the most challenge was? A lack of money, of course.
Yeah.
This is the main challenge for all Russia.
Yeah.
Because Russia is not a very rich country. It is not United States. It is not Switzerland. So one of the most challenges is the lack of money. But maybe I want too much for cryonics. I don't know. And we need to work a lot. We need hard work, of course. Time to time appears some people who is not very good, but it's normal. It's life.
Yeah.
Really don't know. This is planned hard work every day, every month, every year, and step by step we are increase.
Is KrioRus conducting any research at the moment? Any new research developments that you're working on over there?
Of course, we are in contact with a lot of scientists uh, among the world
Mm,
and inside Russia too. Time to time, we work with on our experiments. Um,
mm,
um, our specialists had our specialists have more than 150 scientific articles
mm,
on the different part of cryonics. So maybe now we is not a very big laboratory, but
mm,
our scientists very experienced people, and maybe
mm,
something change in future to the better.
mm. Because you're using vitrification now, right? For your patients? Vitrification?
Verification, of
Yeah,
course, of
yeah.
course. Cryonics Institute was so kind
Mm,
that they gave us not only DR, but the technology of vitrification.
mm,
And when Yury Pichugin um, went to us and began work in KrioRus,
mm.
he uh, created some new modification of the vitrification solution. So now we make a vitrification, of course.
Yeah, see, you know what I like? I like the idea that Ben Best came over help you. See you see Americans helping working with Russians, Russians working with Americans, working with other people from all around the world on this idea of cryonics is bringing us together. I like this idea. Um, for anybody who doesn't know who Ben Best is, he's like one of the biggest cryonicists um in the world. He so look him up. Um,
Repeat, please.
I was saying that I really like the idea that you have a Russian-based organization like KrioRus working with cryonicists from the United States like Ben Best, and it shows us working together to make something
Yes,
happen, which is really good.
not only been best.
Yeah,
We are ready and we will glad to work with all currencies in the world. With
right.
Alcor, with Max Moore, with Cryonics Institute, Denis Kowalski, with
Yes,
Cryonics UK, with um, with the Spanish cryonics, with the Yelfen group in China,
yes,
because really there are not a lot of cryonics
yeah,
organization in the
that's right.
world, not. So we need to be friends,
Yeah, and
and we are ready.
yes, this is I like this, and I just wanted to highlight this because this is a worldwide movement that it's small, but you have different people working together. I'm from Harlem.
Yes,
I'm from Harlem, United States. Who would think that somebody from Harlem would even be interested in the cryonics and the cryonics movement? It's not many of us. So, but I like
yeah.
this. I want to show the world that all these different people from different places are working together and having these discussions and really feel like uh, the value of a human being is of infinite measure. And I think this is a powerful message for the world to see. So I just wanted to highlight that, you know.
By the way,
Yes.
we have a lot of articles about different crowd organization at the CryoRus site
Mm,
with the contacts, because we think if people want to be cryopreserved, for example, Cryonic Institute, well, we will help them. So yes, the friendship between cryonics groups, cryonics organizations is very important.
yes. Yes. I love it. Let me see. Do you think transhumanism is growing in Russia?
Do you?
Do you think the transhumanist movement is growing in Russia? Do you know
Yes,
um
yes.
Dmitry Istakov?
Transhumanist movement is growing
Okay.
every day, and it's very interesting that transhumanism in Russia now is partly, как это, как, Анечка, как сказать, волна такая, средняя волна, такая обыденность. Как? Ordinary, ага. And transhumanism in Russia maybe partly now ordinary things, because you can read a lot of transhumanist ideas at the government sites, at the government papers. So really, transhumanist movement is developing. It is difficult way, of course, but the transhumanist movement in Russia developing. But the transhumanism developing outside the transhumanist movement too, for all people.
Do you know?
Now, if you ask people in Russia, do you want live forever? Maybe 30%, maybe 50% say yes, but cheap.
You did you know Dmitriev? You know Global 2045 Dmitry Isakov. I know I'm probably saying his last name wrong. Dmitry Isakov. The 2045 movement in Russia.
Yes, I know Dmitry Iskov. Yes, it was very. It is a very nice person. He is immortalist, of course, and maybe 12 years ago, he began another transhumanist movement. At that moment was a Russian transhumanist movement. And he began another Russia 2045 movement. It was worked several years. Now it is not work, but he brought young forces to Russia. He taught a lot about cyborgs, about creating the artificial bodies, and a lot of scientists was very in the direction, inspiration of Dima Itskov. He's a nice person, yes.
Yeah.
As far as I know, he now lives in the United States.
He lives in the United States now?
Wow. Yes. I never knew that. Several years.
I never knew
as far as I know.
He came to New York City. I met it when he came to New York City.
No, maybe in California, maybe.
Oh,
really,
okay.
You can write him if he will answer you.
Yeah, I spoke to him a couple. He had a big conference in New York City at the Lincoln Center.
Yes.
I was there for that. That was a wonderful.
Yes, it was
Even
very
Joe
big,
Rogan attended
wonderful
conference.
conferences. Yes.
Yeah.
It was a good deal. Yes.
Yeah, I was there for that, and it was a couple of days. It was wonderful. I enjoyed that. Tell us about the human agent system diagram the project that you're involved with.
It's very interesting project. Honestly, I think that this is the main project in the world. Why I think this? I believe that all people want to be happy, healthy, and live forever. I believe in it. We need to change our bodies from this stage to the immortality stage. So we need the mathematical model, it's my profession, of the current personal. We need the mathematical model of the immortality person, and we need the program how to change the current people to immortality people. What is the program? Program is the algorithm. What is algorithm? This is a lot of rules. Rules how to change this cell, how to change DNA, how to change the hormones, how to change something else to receive in another stage. And we received many years ago that it will be very interesting if we will create diagram from the birth of person to the death. What's the different process are in any age of people, how they are connected with them, and all this information was based on the opinions of the scientists. We worked hardly, and something we created. We created a computer program specifically for this. We created some maybe 67 some versions of the human agent system diagram, and after that the leaders of this project were divorced and the project was ended. But the project was ended not because this project was complete, not. It's only the first stages, because if we will add to this diagram the new information, later, on the basis of the diagram, we can create those programs that can, first of all, make people healthier, make people younger, and maybe in the future make people immortal. So I believe that in several, maybe this year, maybe in the next year, we will return to this diagram and will be go with new instruments. Maybe now artificial intelligence will help us, and maybe in this moment this diagram will be better, and maybe we will and maybe we will receive the first version of the program how to make the current people to immortal people. One moment, I need the water. Анечка, правда, мой английский ужасен, но так, средненько. Ой, это ужасно, продолжаю. Останься со мной, пожалуйста, а то я боюсь без тебя. Окей.
Do you know the number offhand how many cryonists, how many people, how many patients you have at KrioRus?
Repeat, please.
How many patients are waiting
how
to be
many?
Reanimated at KrioRus?
Now we have cryopreserved 79 humans.
Wow, that's pretty good.
45 animals.
Wow.
Several hundreds DNA. And many hundreds contracts for the future with the people alive.
Wow.
But in the future they will cryopreserved. This is our statistics.
That's pretty good. How long? How does the? Yeah, I think that's wonderful because you the organization's been all right. It started in like what 2005.
2006.
Wow, that's pretty.
Yes.
Pretty good.
No, it is not good. It is bad. All our meeting of our friends, I began from the all is bad, because it is only 79 people cryopreserved, not 79,000 people cryopreserved. All is bad.
No, you know why?
In our core is bad, and in the cryonics, all cryonics is bad, because our mission to save people, and we save very small amount of people.
My mind is comparing it to the cryonics organization in the States and how long it took us to get at least 79
compare with the idea, with the future. Compare with the future. 79% is nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
79 million person. It's interesting.
No, that's true. But I'm just comparing it to the times in the time span from 2006 to 2021. Compared to what we had to do, what we had in the past here in the States, it took the Cryonics Institute a long time probably to get at least in that small that time frame. It probably took us more time to get that many people signed up.
Maybe,
and being
but in earlier ages it was more difficult to develop than now.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just an optimist. Like I see 79.
Yes, me too.
Very optimistic, you know. But yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. We need way more people than that. But yeah. So what is some of the expansions you think you're gonna have in the near future and your long-term goals?
One moment. Анечка, ты слышала какой-то звук? Какой звук? У меня в наушниках, что ли? Ну ладно. One moment. Sure, something noise was. Repeat this.
What's some of your long-term goals as far as expanding the facility? Your short-term goals and your long-term goals. What is some of the things you're gonna look to do to expand the organization?
Expansion of the organization, I think it's have different ways. For example, we have our representatives in South Korea, in Switzerland now, in Italy. This is expansion.
Mm-hmm.
And at that moment, the cryonics storage only in Moscow. But we have very small cryonic storage in Copenhagen. And we have opportunity. Одну минутку, Анечка, разница между opportunity и possibility. У нас есть возможность хранить. Uh-huh. And we have possibility to store people in the Latvia, and maybe it will be soon. This possibility will in Switzerland too. So it's expansion. But now we have a very important step, and now we are constructing a very big cryonics center with several facilities, with laboratory, with operational room, with the garage, with offices, and even with a small village for the cryonics patients near Tver. It's 160 kilometers from Moscow. We bought, have bought. Анечка, have bought, да, купили? Ой, боже, как хорошо, что я все знаю. We have bought a big land for this, and now we are constructing our first building from the six that we are planned the new facility, and maybe it will finish in May. So there are different ways for expansion. The geographic expansion, the amounting of people who understand and support cryonics, and maybe the friendship with different scientific organizations. All of this are expansion of cryonics.
Sounds wonderful. Do you think I know this is. Do you think you'll ever have like a? Cause I know Alcor in the States they have a commercial. Do you think you will ever have like a little commercials to get people a little bit more interested, and maybe a documentary, since you guys are the first cryonics organization and facility in Russia? I think that maybe I would love to see a nice documentary about what you're doing, and also maybe a commercial to let people know it is a business. Maybe a commercial to get
Really,
people
I think
interested
that
in doing cryopreserved.
cryonics company will не должны must not или как это не должны? Must, okay. Uh-huh. Really, I think that cryonics organization mustn't be a commercial organization. Really, because what is commercial organization? When there are a lot of situations when the part of the owners want to win some part of company. It's some people want to sell part of company. It is not safe for the cryonics.
Right.
Now KrioRus is a commercial company, yes, but really I dream that in the future it will be big non-profit company, because I don't know what about in other countries, but in Russia there is some specific non-profit organization when nobody, no government, no people cannot to take the activities from the organization.
Right.
In commercial organization, it can happen. In non-profit, not. But now we are a commercial organization, and maybe it's good too. Really, I don't know, because I'm not the people who knows all future. Some people believe that cryonics in the future will be commercial field.
Well, I mean,
Maybe.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you answered. I didn't. That wasn't my initial question, but to be honest with you, I'm glad you said. I'm glad you answered it in that way. That was going to be my second question. But do you think that you will ever create a commercial as an advertisement to let people know that you can go here to get cryopreserved? Just like because I know Alcor has something like that when when you're interested in alcohol, they send you something that's a commercial, talking about why you what cryonics is about. You know how to sign up, what's the insurance about. This is like a
one moment.
like a commercial advertisement.
Really, I don't understand you now.
Oh, okay.
Please, maybe we will take a small rest, and you tell Anna her question. She will translate me, and I will ask you. Okay?
All right, that's fine.
One moment.
Sure.
Call Anya and maybe Telegram.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe Анечка, подожди, one moment.
Okay.
Может быть, сейчас... right, Anna, right, Anna, in Messenger, her question, okay?
Okay. I'm doing that now.
In one moment I'll be back.
Okay.
Скажи ему, что я болею немножко ангиной, поэтому кашля, пусть не думает никакого коронавируса, я сделала себе вакцину, но простудилась, пока бегала по строительству.
How they're advertising to people, because the only way people are going to really find out is if they have advertisement or something like that. I did see that they had something about they had something on Bloomberg. KrioRus had something. The Bloomberg did something on them, which was dope. It was really good, actually. I enjoyed it. All right, so I'm going in my Instagram. It's mad cold over there in Moscow. Mad cold. All right, let's see. Let's go. I'm going in my phone. There's a clear language barrier, but she's still doing great with the questions. I wish I knew Russian. I'm gonna look into that.
Написал? А?
Не написал ничего. Скажи ему, пусть в чатик напишет.
Он что, не понял? Напиши сама ему в чатик.
Написала.
Valeriya, where are you?
Right here. All right. Let this see.
Ага, все написала.
Ага, ну что там? Там еще плохо слышно немножко.
Ну, понятно. Сейчас.
У меня какой-то сложный такой вопрос. Я хочу на него просто четко ответить. It is not COVID. I have a vaccine,
yes, I was just gonna say,
but it was very cold when I went near our new building, and
will you ever make a documentary about how you guys started?
вон оно что. Okay. About advertising. Yes, I understand your question.
Yeah.
It is very interesting that a lot of yes, we didn't made any advertisers. Advertisers? Ads. We didn't make any ads, but journalists very love KrioRus, and we made interview very often, maybe 1,000 interviews.
Yeah,
we took participation in a lot of TV program, but it's very interesting that maybe 6 months ago, one young lady wanted to try the ads in Instagram about DNA, about the pet cryopreservation, and even about neuropreservation. And we really see that more people call us, more people write us.
Yeah.
It's effective.
Yeah, definitely. You think that you'll ever do a documentary on how the organization started? Documentary.
Repeat, please.
You think that will you have a documentary on how you started, how KrioRus started?
Пусть опять напишет. Слушай, он понимает, что сейчас ночи, я уже не понимаю. Пусть напишет. Write your question, please, Anna. Я не перестаю его понимать. Скажу, что у нас очень поздно, наверное, просто я нервничаю немножко. Я сейчас, one moment. Write, Anna, your question, please.
Okay.
Что он говорит? Ну, что пишет там? Я, наверное, устала сильно. Да, я сегодня часа 3 спала, на самом деле. У меня там, на жизнь, там прям сразу несколько ДНК кошек там сохранялось. Я поняла, что это ведет. Мы одно сохранили в Москве, питерская перенеслась, но они все равно, что не дали спать. И? Right, Anna, your question.
Yep. Yep.
Все, вот.
Ну, что там?
Мы когда-нибудь будем создавать документальный фильм о том, как начался KrioRus?
Yes, it is really a wonderful story.
Yeah.
I think it will be not the movie, it will be a lot of movies.
No.
Because there was a lot of unbelievable, very interesting stories during our activities.
Mm.
Yes, I think that KrioRus is legend now.
Mm. Well, this was wonderful.
It was very difficult. It was very difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine, and that's why I wanted to ask you that question, because you know somebody else who's trying to do the same thing somewhere else in a different country can probably learn something from what you guys, from what the organization had to go through in its beginning. So
Yes.
yeah.
I don't know why this was happened. I think it was very, very good team.
Mm.
Maybe it was the main part of the success. Very good, big team in the beginning of the KrioRus.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. So thank you for coming by. Is there anything you want to share with my audience before we head out?
Repeat, please.
Is there anything you would like to share with us before we head out? Anything you would like to share with my audience, the hip hop audience?
Опять тебе не пишет. I don't understand you right, please.
That's okay. That's all right.
There is now very late in Russia.
No, it's
Now
okay.
the maybe I'm too tired.
That's okay.
Анечка, что он спрашивает? Я говорю, не, уже не слышу, блин. Ага. Sorry. Понимаю, потом раз у меня окончательно не складывается.
Там связь плохая.
Может быть. Знаешь, я как такое впечатление, как оп. И в результате где-то перерывы, они не дают мне сложить все это вместе. Ну что там? Ну, он говорит, что могу ли что-то вот рассказать, шерить и так далее, но вот окончания не понимаю.
Что-нибудь хочешь рассказать?
Dear Maitreya, if I will begin to tell you about all interesting things in cryonics, I will never end. So really, I don't know. Just the main what I want to say is that cryonics is the как это сказать? Подожди секундочку. Ань, как сказать, что крионик это высшее проявление любви? Utmost? Я слово такое не знаю. Cryonics is the love. Yes. It's the main part of the future. And I think that more and more people need to take participation in cryonics organization and need to sign contracts with cryonics company, and they need to change all their culture. Yes.
Yeah, that's very important. Thank you for coming by. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to us. It means a lot. Shout outs to all of Russia. Yeah, and I'm about to head out. Thank you.
Thank you for you. Sorry for my English, but really I'm very tight
No,
and pandemic. I was not abroad during this year, only in Switzerland, but Switzerland citizens don't speak in English.
you did fine. Okay, don't worry
Thank you.
about it. You did fine, and we really enjoy that you came by and talked to us. Okay, don't worry.
Thank you.
We love
Thank
it.
you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
Мы закончили, Анечка.